Lordstown Motors.
Lordstown Motors.
Lordstown Motors.
I'm talking about Lordstown Motors.
In 2020, Lordstown Motors was a company that offered a glimpse into America's all-electric future. The company was assembled seemingly out of nowhere and quickly rose to fame. It caught the eyes of the US government and once traded on the stock market at a valuation as high as $5.3 billion. Yet, behind all this was allegedly one of the largest stock market frauds in US history. It was a fraud so large that it rivals other fraudulent promises such as Theranos, Nikola Motors, and Enron. Despite Lordstown's deception that I will soon cover, the company still trades on the stock market today under the ticker symbol of RIDE. In this video, I will cover how an EV startup defrauded the entire United States and walked away with millions of dollars in cash. Welcome to Kazgains Academy. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content like this, and let's get right into it. On November 22, 2016, a company named Workhorse Group revealed its plan to create a battery electric pickup truck called the Workhorse W15 pickup truck. The truck was seen as the ultimate disruptor of the pickup truck industry and showed the world the future of pickup trucks. For $50,000, people would be able to purchase a pickup truck capable of 80 miles of battery electric range and 230 miles of gas-powered range to a range extender. In 2016, the truck took Wall Street by storm, and the company's valuation took off to a 9-figure value. Yet, behind this was some extremely suspicious activity. The Workhorse W15 was designed to come to production in 2018, but then got delayed to 2019 and again to 2020, until finally the truck was gone. To many people, the product seemed very promising until it simply disappeared.
We're here in Long Beach, California as guests of the Workhorse Group. Why? Because they're showing us the first drivable, fully electric pickup truck.
Yet, the Workhorse W15 pickup truck wasn't completely gone. After some minor changes and a simple rebranding of the vehicle was completed, one of the largest frauds in history was born. The CEO and co-founder of Workhorse Group, Steve Burns, had a sketchy leadership style from the start. According to Hindenburg Research, one senior employee claimed they saw more questionable and unethical business practices from Steve than they had seen over their entire career. As the CEO of Workhorse, Steve burned millions of dollars into the Workhorse W15 pickup truck with no success at all. He made outrageous claims about production, which is seen in the following interview in 2018.
Some of the fleets that pre-ordered are going to get it latter part of this year. They're going to get some early units to make sure we haven't missed anything and it covers their needs. And so initial production will start late this year, but the bulk of them will be in 19.
In February of 2019, Steve was pushed out of Workhorse for wasting money and missing deadlines. 4 months later, Steve started his own company, Lordstown Motors, and purchased the intellectual property for the Workhorse W15 pickup truck. What we now know is that Steve didn't actually want Workhorse's intellectual property, which only included some designs and a couple of EV patents. The property that Steve actually wanted was the pre-orders for the Workhorse W15, which was a book of 6,000 pre-orders. Steve reclassified these orders as quote-unquote sales and used them to help raise money. In November of 2019, Lordstown got a deal to purchase an old General Motors plant with a $40 million loan. This purchase brought Lordstown fame on a local, state, and federal level. The unveiling of the Lordstown Endurance was attended by high-profile guests, including President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. What the guests didn't know at the time was that Lordstown would become a large-scale fraud. While on the stage, Lordstown took a bold move to drive its prototype on the stage with Mike Pence. 6 months later, this pickup truck would explode into pieces. On August 3, 2020, Lordstown announced that it would go public on the stock market via SPAC under the ticker symbol of RIDE. In order to create investor confidence in the company, Lordstown allegedly created fake pre-orders and claimed those pre-orders as sales. Each pre-order does not require any deposit, and in some cases, Lordstown actually paid other companies to pre-order. To give you a sense of what kind of companies are pre-ordering Lordstown trucks, take a look at one company that pre-ordered 14,000 trucks named E-Squared Energy Advisors. The company only has 2 employees on LinkedIn, was filed as an individual business, and has an office that is actually just a mid-tier apartment building. Yet, somehow, the company was able to pre-order 14,000 pickup trucks or $735 million worth of trucks. When Hindenburg Research reached out to the company, they responded by saying they don't operate a fleet and pre-ordered the trucks for a quote-unquote brand new program. Another company that pre-ordered 1,000 trucks was a 2-person startup, and they had a virtual office listed as their address. Plenty of Lordstown's pre-orders are just like these examples. These vaporware pre-orders were clearly created to boost the valuation of Lordstown Motors. In one case, Steve Burns paid $30 for each pre-order that a company ordered. According to former employees at Lordstown, these companies pre-ordered the truck as a favor to the CEO, Steve Burns. Despite this, Steve Burns touted the pre-orders as if they were legit and going to go through.
We have our whole year, our first year of production already pre-sold. We got 27,000 orders. We got customers really wanting the truck.
Well, we sell to commercial fleets. That's our first customer. And like you said, we've already got 50,000 pre-orders.
And it seems as if some of these orders, the 50,000, are from Solid, a Duke Energy, a First Energy. These people are not going to be walking away. They are committed.
Right. Yeah. All of them. You know, when you order, I think our average order size is about 500 trucks at a time. Bringing in 500 electric vehicles into your fleet's not trivial. So you got to plan all the charging and everything. So it's very serious orders.
And we have pre-sold 100,000 of these to various fleets across America.
Steve Burns essentially went on all sorts of platforms to tell everyone that their pre-orders were quote-unquote serious when most of them were actually just fake pre-orders. Most recently, Steve went on CNBC to claim that he has always been saying that the pre-orders were not serious.
Are those truly serious orders?
Well, no, we've always been very clear, right? These are just what they're intended to be, right? These are non-binding letter intents. They're called pre-orders out in the kind of real world. So always classified them for that, and we have a lot of those pre-orders.
So it's very serious orders.
We have pre-sold, already pre-sold.
Do you regret the way you characterize those reservations?
Well, reservation. Phil, all I can, I don't want to get into the specifics. All I can tell you is demand is robust. We've never said we had orders. We don't have a product yet. By definition, we can't have orders, right? So when you're early and you're years away from a product, in this case, 1 year, and now we're down to 6 months. So now that we have the betas, we are starting to be able to shore some of that up. But I don't think anybody thought that we had actual orders, right? That's just not the nature of this business.
Steve is clearly contradicting himself here, but there are even more serious problems going on with Lordstown's truck and the company's claims about its future. When Lordstown was first created by Steve Burns in November of 2019, he stated that Lordstown would start delivering vehicles by the fourth quarter of 2020. Yet, in April 2020, Lordstown said that deliveries would begin in January 2021. 2 months later, Lordstown delayed this delivery date to early 2021. And most recently, in January 2021, the company delayed the delivery date to September 2021. And this will most likely be delayed again in the future. A former Lordstown employee has stated that Lordstown's pickup truck may go into production in 3 to 4 years, if it even goes into production in the first place. First of all, to start with, the company's product is practically non-existent. In January 2021, the company decided to test out its pickup truck prototype. This would be the first road test for the Lordstown Endurance pickup truck. In just 10 minutes in the test, the truck suddenly started lighting on fire. The entire inner portion of the vehicle was absolutely destroyed by the fire. Nevertheless, 2 weeks after the fire, Lordstown announced that it would be building beta trucks, which was clearly a ridiculous statement. I actually called Lordstown out 4 months ago, before the company went public, and told all of you to watch out for the company. In November of 2019, Lordstown claims that the automaker would beat Tesla to the market as the first electric pickup truck. However, on that day, they had no prototype to show. That's right, no prototype at all. Lordstown made a single prototype and is acting like they can suddenly scale to mass production in less than 1 year. This all seems like a huge investor grab to me. I'm not a financial advisor and you should always do your own due diligence, but I do have to say that personally, this is a stock that I'm very cautious about. This could allegedly very well be Trevor Milton and Nikola Motors all over again. Back then, I received plenty of backlash, but now it's quite obvious that Lordstown could be a fraud. Yet, Lordstown's ethics goes beyond ambitious timelines. While Lordstown was looking for an infotainment system for its pickup truck, Steve Burns went into negotiations with a company named Karma Automotive to license out Karma's infotainment system. Instead of licensing Karma's infotainment system, Lordstown stole it. According to a lawsuit filed by Karma, Lordstown secretly hired employees of Karma and encouraged employees to steal thousands of Karma's proprietary documents via USB flash drive. After that, those employees used these documents to build Lordstown's infotainment system. The reason why these employees got caught is quite hilarious. After Lordstown cancelled its deal with Karma and stole all of Karma's proprietary documents, one employee accidentally sent an email to Karma showing how much money Lordstown would save by stealing Karma's infotainment system. In the email was a statement saying that Lordstown would save $4.6 million by stealing Karma's trade secrets and also confidential information. In addition to this, the Lordstown CEO has also deceived investors by lying about Lordstown's battery technology. In December of 2019, Steve announced that Lordstown was building its own battery pack inside the plant.
Good. Of course, if you're an electric vehicle, your battery is your number one thing. That's why we are building our own battery plant here. We don't make the cells, but we assemble these 6,000 small cells into a pack of our own design, and it sits in the floor of the vehicle. So it's a critical part, and you got to control the cost of it. A lot of people associate, there is the raw elements, the lithium, like you talked about, and the cells, but how you hold those 6,000 cells and thermally manage them and electrically manage them and get them to last a long time, that's kind of the secret sauce of an OEM, electric OEM anyway. And we do that all in-house here.
Contrary to Steve's claims, a former employee stated that there is no battery pack manufacturing equipment on site there now. They just put it together by hand. The contrast between Steve's claims and the former employees is quite drastic. It's either you're building batteries with machines in-house or you're not. We now know that Lordstown may have allegedly been involved in several criminal activities. Nevertheless, Lordstown's insiders are about to walk away with $28 million in stock and could walk away with much more in the future. Lordstown recently went public in October 2020, but nonetheless, Lordstown's insiders have already been selling plenty of shares. This includes $28 million worth of stock sold by Lordstown's president, VP of Propulsion, and VP of Engineering. All of this stock is being unloaded when the company hasn't sold or even created a working product. That's right, before the company has even sold a product, its insiders have already sold millions of dollars worth of stock. That right there is a clear sign that something is going wrong, and this is very similar to a company that I called out multiple times in the past. In fact, during the time when Lordstown's prototype went on fire, Lordstown's executives sold $8.8 million worth of stock. Overall, Lordstown's eventual downfall should be a clear warning to be always suspicious of any company that claims to have revolutionary technology without even having a product in the first place. Let me know what you think about Lordstown Motors. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.